Well, greetings and salutations, and welcome once again to the Newsman Weekly Podcast, episode number 56. Got to be honest, I woke up Monday morning to learn that we had 2 shooting incidents overnight on Sunday, all involving juveniles. I had to call the police chief bright and early Monday morning, even before I had my Cheerios. Got a story posted at richlandsource.com. Not the way I like starting a week, guys.
Well, hey, at least the kids are outside, getting some fresh air, enjoying their summer. They're playing outside. What do you want?
No, that's just bad.
They're not on their phones.
Well, that's a problem. They do spend time on their phones, but they spend time on their phones disrespecting each other, which leads to stupid things like we had Sunday night. All right. Thanks again to all of you for joining us today on what we plan to have a special hip-hop version of the show. No, I'm not performing. That's right, music lovers. In a few minutes, the old newsman is going to welcome organizers of the 2nd annual Cypher City Hip Hop Fest coming up Saturday, July 26th from 3 to 9 p.m. at the Richland County Fairgrounds. So stay tuned for that discussion. Hopefully Zach and Hayden will help lead me there because I'll be honest, as I'll explain later on, I might not be the most tuned-in person in the room to hip-hop music these days.
You're going to learn a lot today.
All right. Well, I like to learn things every day. I mean, I learn how to get out of bed every day at my age, you know. All right, but before we get started, we know you got a lot of choices and places to go for news and information and entertainment. God knows social media is filled with such places. We're grateful so many of you come to us every week, more than 1 year into this weekly audio-visual tomfoolery. We know we couldn't do this show without your support, so please, if you haven't done it already, subscribe to the show and give it a great rating. If you have, please unsubscribe, resubscribe, and give it another great rating. Again, I don't know if any of that's proper, legal, or possible, but it doesn't stop me from suggesting it. As always, many thanks to local country singer Luke Watson for writing and singing Smoke and Drink, this misbegotten show's theme song. My thanks also to the great folks at Relax It's Just Coffee for sponsoring this show and for being a great partner to the Newsman Weekly. Every day starts better with great coffee. Our friend Paul Kimmerling and his baristas at Relax simply have the best in town at 105 North Main Street in downtown Mansfield. As you may have guessed, I'm joined once again today by Zach Heiser, this show's executive producer and alleged creative driving force, and also Hayden Gray, our official videographer for at least one more week, though we're calling him Mr. Not On Time today.
That's not fair at all. I got here before you.
Yeah, but you were supposed to be set up and ready to go, and we had to start late. Okay,
Carl, you used to get here a lot earlier, but
I was kind of
you just kind of roll in now, and you're just like, all right, turn, hit record.
The success has gotten to his head.
But I think it worworks because we don't talk too much before the show, so.
I was a little busy this morning.
Yeah, you
guys.
distracted.
Oh yeah, right.
I had a couple of things to do this morning,
but you said you talked to the police chief before you talked to your wife.
Yeah,
so.
and before I had my Cheerios, so that's never a good thing. So, but good morning, gentlemen. How the hell are you? And Hayden, how were bicycle days in Shelby?
It was good. I went over Friday for an open house at the Bicycle Museum, which is housed inside the Justice Center. And had seen probably, I think there was over 30 bikes from the Shelby Cycle Company, which it was the 100th anniversary of, inside the Justice Center. So kind of cool to see that history. And then Saturday, went back over for the parade, which there was a flash rain shower right at the beginning of it, 2 o'clock. So you just saw everybody turn into everybody for themselves and push and run and shove their way under an awning. So always great to be reminded that side of humanity is out there. I had my wife with me, and we had our son, who's not quite 2. And
did you pull a George from Seinfeld and shove them to the side and every man for himself and run under the awning?
What I said was when I felt the first raindrop, I said, go. We were by the Troy Baker's Edward Jones building downtown. There's an awning. And the first raindrop, I said, go. I said, people aren't going to care that we have our son. You go get your spot. You take him. And we got one. But
look at you being a good dad.
But it was a good parade, good time, as always.
All right. Folks, we got 2 great weekends of music coming up. Incarceration at the Ohio State Reformatory, July 18, 19, and 20. and then the Cypher City Hip Hop Fest. Now, Heiser, I know you are fired up.
Yeah.
Are you boys ready for the music extravaganzas coming down the pike?
I'm ready. Yeah, we're going to be covering Ink, and then Cypher City the following weekend. That's awesome. We're going to talk more about that today. And then there's actually if you can't go to Incarceration, but you want a taste of it, there's a
yes, there
which
is.
I can't imagine there's a ton of people that are just like, I just want a taste of it.
A taste of ink.
Yeah. I just want to see what it's about.
Had that in the third grade. Didn't like it.
Oh yeah. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
But at Warehouse Tavern, there's a Ink pre-show, and there's going to be a local band, Aimpoint, there, as well as a few regional metal heavier bands. I think it's $10 if you're going to Ink. You can show your wristband and get in free. If not, then there's a cover. But we're also going to head to that, so it's going to be a lot of music coming up.
When is the show at the tavern?
That is Thursday night, so the 17th, so right before Ink kicks off.
And who knows? Maybe some of these big bands that are coming to Ink get to town. Maybe they want to stop over.
Maybe.
And, maybe you'll have Slipknot. Just show up and
Maybe Zach will have Marilyn Manson who really wants to.
Maybe Marilyn Manson will be there.
Maybe Marilyn Manson will
just
show up.
Chilling in the corner.
Yeah, just throw out a quick
Sure,
set. Yeah. All right. Hey, but before we dive into the music scene, we do have some news we need to cover for you. Mansfield officials are still hoping for federal funding for a massive dry dam project that would take more than 100 acres out of the floodplain on the city's north side. I've been writing about that story for years and years and years.
Yes. And in your story, your most recent one, you linked to about 50
every
past
single
stories about the dry dam.
Resync.
And the thing is that I didn't even put every story I've written about it, just the ones I thought were kind of most apropos.
Please let us know if you read that story in it. Please let us know if you've read all of, and you're not Bob Bianchi.
Yeah.
If you've actually read all of Hunnell's dry dam coverage.
Yeah.
Well, we want to give you an award.
If you haven't, you should. But anyway, that federal funding will not be coming from the now defunct Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities Grant Program, also known as BRIC. And not Brick House, which was sang by the Commodores, and not Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie was singing with the Commodores at the time, but that was a Commodore song. People often mistaken that. Anyway, just throwing that out. In what local officials had hoped was perhaps the last step in a years-long process, the city officially filed a more than 500-page BRIC application on March 13th with FEMA. They were hoping to get about $26 million, which would be about 90% of the funds needed for the project in North Lake Park. But less than a month later, on April 5th, the Trump administration announced it was ending the BRIC program, which, by the way, the previous Trump administration had actually started during its first term.
And then it got doged.
Yep, then it got doged.
Or something.
Yep, got politicized.
500 pages, and then...
That's a gauntlet.
Yep.
It's...
Well, and imagine communities out there that had already been approved, but the money hadn't been allocated yet. Sorry, not coming. Mayor Jody Perry and city engineer Bob Bianchi pivoted the grant request to the Federal Flood Mitigation Assistance Program, which is also operated by FEMA. The good news is the same work that went into the BRIC application only needed slight modification for the FMA program. The city hopes to know by the end of September if it's going to get any grant money. I think it would max out at about 75% of the funds needed for the project, which would require the city to obviously continue looking for additional funding sources to pay for this.
Because BRIC was going to cover 100% of it?
90%.
Close. Okay, 90%.
And this thing is up. First time I wrote about this, and it shows you how inflation in years past, it was like $15 million. Now it's like double.
Right.
I mean, nothing gets cheaper.
Of course.
Hey, speaking of the city, Mansfield City Council is coming home Tuesday night. Mansfield lawmakers are going to meet in newly remodeled council chambers for the first time since October. The work on their third-floor facility was done by Adena Corporation, part of a larger $3.5 million project to fix up and improve the Mansfield Municipal Building. Projects being paid for by a portion of the city's American Rescue Plan Act funds, which City Council approved way back in 2022. Council has been meeting since November in Mansfield Municipal Courtroom 1, which is the primary home for presiding Judge Michael Kimmerer, who got some big news
over the weekend.
over the weekend, wrote a story about that. Mayor Tim Thaker, who was then mayor at the time, said in 2022 that the 9-story city building at 30 North Diamond has not undergone significant renovation since its construction a half-century ago.
He wasn't wrong.
Was he bragging when he said that? Or?
No,
No.
I think this is a building that needed work. Hopefully they were able to get a lot of things done. But council's meeting space was renovated with a new ceiling, new lighting, new audiovisual equipment, new chairs. So the space behind the audience chairs was also renovated to allow people to walk more freely in the rear of council chambers. You don't have to step over people's feet. The tiered seating used by lawmakers and members of the city administration was also modified and renovated. As someone who covered his first city council meeting 35 years ago, I can't wait to see what the new space looks like Tuesday night. More importantly, maybe it will be lit enough that you can actually take pictures.
I'm kind of jealous as someone who covers Mansfield City Council for you sometimes and has been in both the former and the current room they've been using. I'm kind of jealous. Maybe I just want to come just to see it.
Well, you know what? Let me know if you want to come just to see it.
Because then you'll just have me. Yeah.
And you can come just to cover it.
I'm okay.
And I'll take the night off.
I'm sure the council folks who just love getting their picture taken by you will be rejoicing
This is a step
from
in the right direction.
the better lighting and better picture quality.
There was, various lawmakers over the years and city officials have complained about pictures I take of them during meetings. And,
You got my bad side.
yeah, there was one female city council member who shall remain nameless, said it to me one time too many that I'd gotten her bad side, and why don't I get her good side? And I finally looked at her and said, well, I can't find it. When I find that good side, I'll take a picture of it. But yeah, so anyway. A former city of Mansfield Park, once known for baseball and softball fields, may soon welcome a different kind of athlete. Local businessman and owner Dan Niss is in the process of purchasing the former Hamilton Park on the city's north side and expanding Westbrook Country Club, which he owns controlling interest with his wife Brenda. The Richland County Land Bank Board voted Wednesday to sell about 19 acres of the former Hamilton Park to Niss for about $50,000. He wants to establish a 9-hole golf course there with a state-of-the-art teaching and practice facility. It's going to be called the Diamond at Westbrook Country Club. Will be a par 3 style course. Distances ranging from 94 to 201 yards, which means, I usually hit driver if it's less than, 150 because I can't play golf.
Yeah, me
Same,
too.
me either.
With a total yardage of 1,054 yards. The Teaching and Learning Center will have 2 open bays facing the course, an indoor putting green and space for workshops as well as a pro shop. The Diamond is going to be designed to promote inclusivity, development, and growth through golf according to the business plan. Says they will emphasize accessibility and learning by providing a comfortable teaching environment for beginners and selective programming for schools, military veterans, and adaptive athletes. So that could be Hamilton Park is one of those places the city a few years ago divested itself of about 10 parks because they just didn't have enough.
Couldn't keep the grass cut.
Right. It was too many. They didn't need it. The Hamilton Park has just been sitting idle. At one point, the local homeless shelter at that time was called Harmony House. They wanted to build use the land and build a kind of a giant service center complex for homeless people. The land bank agreed and gave them 18 months to raise $1.5 million out of a total of a project that was estimated at $16 to $22 million. But that money was not forthcoming, so that project went away. It's kind of been sitting there. So now we've got Dan Niss buying it. And the nice thing is Harmony House, now known as Wayfinders
That's
Ohio,
right, yeah.
will soon is purchasing its own new facility out on Park Avenue East. And they've gotten assistance from the land bank, who they got the building from, and also assistance from county and city government, as well as other public and private funding sources. So Wayfinders will also have a new home. All right, that's enough for now. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by our guests from the upcoming Cypher City Hip Hop Festival. That should be exciting, so stay with us. Well, welcome back to the Newsman Weekly podcast. Joining us now, as promised, are our friends from the Cypher City Hip Hop Festival coming up July 26th from 3 to 9 p.m. at the Richland County Fairgrounds. This festival has quickly become a staple in Mansfield's summer event calendar, offering a platform for emerging talent and a space for fans to celebrate the diverse elements of hip-hop culture. Guys, I'm going to confess, my first experience with old school hip-hop likely came before most of you were born. Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang way back in 1979 was my first foray into a what they called hip-hop at the time, and it's certainly changed over the years. But yeah, I was I think I was a freshman at Ohio University at the time when that song came out. So it was like, hey, look at this. This is cool. So anyway, I was hip-hop before hip-hop was even cool. Let's go around the room. I want you guys to introduce yourselves and tell us what role you're going to be playing at the festival and how you came to be involved in the local hip-hop music scene.
All right. I'll go ahead and go first. My name is Ryan James. I am the creator of the Cypher City Hip Hop Festival and head organizer. This is year 2 that we're doing this, and kind of like my inspiration throughout all this is just goes back for a while to putting on these type of festivals, and this Cypher City is something that it kind of shows everything we've been doing in Mansfield. But that's just a little bit about myself, and also I got with me. I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, my name's Don Kartel. Most people know me by Young Don. This is one of my first artist names back then. But yeah, Don Kartel. And I will be performing on July 26th at the Mansfield City Cypher. I started doing music around the age of 13, 14. Ever since then, I just, it's been a passion of mine. So.
And Ryan, so you talked about. I remember we met.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was doing Newsroom After Hours, and you came in, and we wanted to kind of collaborate on some stuff. And you were talking about putting a festival, and last year was the inaugural year of Cypher City. And so I remember you talking at the time about some, like maybe it was a downtown festival that Mansfield used to have, or talk about that and kind of the history, your history and roots of like hip hop in Mansfield.
So back in the day, like I said, I'm showing my age. I'm 45. But back in the day in 2000, when I first started doing the music managing, and I had a collection of artists called Up North, and that was the Up North Records. We did a festival at the fairgrounds originally. It was called Hip Hop Explosion. We did it for 3 years.
What year was that?
2000.
2000.
Yeah, back in 2000, and it went from about 2000 to 2003. We did it every year. And we would do it at the John Hart's Hall. And when we did that, it was the first time that we ever had local artists coming to, and we made it like a big thing, And that type of energy and the way we did was just something that was exciting. And I remember when I came and we talked about it, and we talked about just hip hop, because all the different people are having festivals. You got your rock, country, incarceration, and I'm like, we need something strictly for hip-hop, you know what I mean? And with the artists around here, giving them the chance to have a stage. And so that's why I was thinking, like, let's take it back to that, to the fairgrounds. And the Cypher City idea came up originally. Like I said, I brought the baby to Zach. I did. I brought the baby to Zach. And we talked about it, and it was good. And I believe at that time, like, you got crazy busy.
I mean,
that's what happened.
That's usually life around here, but
Zach got crazy busy. But he helped me start the brainchild and stuff like that, and then we brought in some other people, and that's how the first one was born. What we learned from the first festival, one, we got a break because we had Fairhaven Hall, which is huge, by the way. We only wanted John Hart's. John Hart's is like the smallest hall in there, because it was just we were just getting back up to it, but they were like, we're having electrical work done with everything, so we can give you Fairhaven Hall. I'm like, I'll take it,
right.
Just to get it. It was a bigger thing. So this year we got Youth Hall, which is right in the middle, because after seeing the turnout last year and saying like, okay, I think Youth Hall will fit the vendors and we can bring in more, just turn up promotion. because I didn't want John Hart's, because I was thinking, what if John Hart's get completely too full and and you can't control it?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the main thing I liked about having this hall, because it's wide, it's spread, you can control it, see what's going on, kind of keep an eye on everything. But the inspiration mostly behind this festival was to give people a platform. We want artists that never really got a big stage presence but got dreams, right? They got dreams. They want to become an artist, rapper, singer, whatever they do, but Cypher City gives you the chance to come out on that big stage, promote. I tell artists, bring your merchandise, bring your cards, bring anything to promote you as a musician. Bring your photographers, bring your webcams, podcasts. We want everything out there, and because at the end of the day, we want people to know who you are. So.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I mean, the networking at a fest like that, it's like, oh yeah, I make beats, I rap, I do a podcast. Like you guys, even if it's like, just not even for the audience, but just to like meet and like network with other
That's my favorite
creators.
Part. Yeah. I love networking.
Yeah, networking is fun. And I tell people all the time, like I work in a business where, like, as far as I work for Ohio Health, and I work in a business where, as a manager, it's a lot of networking. So I kind of combine a lot of what I do from my career and my job with this, because I love doing this. Right. Like I really want within the next 5-10 years to be like, this is all I do, But right now I having two careers, which is consuming and management, I bring a lot with me. Like, for instance, we had over 40-something artists. Communication with them, it's like last year everybody's hit me up on Facebook, stop, please do not Facebook message me. So this year we kind of kept it straight to like forums, online forums, and emails. So it's funny because I'm sending people emails and sending out batches of emails and copying all these artists. And somebody follow up on a Facebook message. I'm like, did you respond to your email? I'm like, I'm in work mode. Did you respond to your email? And one was like, I didn't get the email. What was but like, and some of these guys are young guys, and they're like, some of the guys that gangster rappers or whatever you want to be, and they're talking to me about an email. But but like at the same time, I told them like, I'm just trying to make people accountable. If you really want to hit the stage, you need to do what's required.
Right. And you got to be, I mean, if you're trying to make it or whatever, you got to be professional anyway and respond to emails. Don, I don't know much about you. I know we're Facebook friends, and I've seen you around and at some different shows, but tell me a little bit about your musical style, like kind of what you're working on, what you've released, what are some of your goals, or like anything you want to plug for yourself, in the near future.
Yeah. Well, I'm very versatile. I do a lot of R&B, hip hop, rap. I am getting into country. I've started doing country music. Yeah, because I play the bass guitar now. Okay. I've been learning that. Yeah, I mean, anything that my ear catches that I'm attracted to, I simply like go with the flow with that. So
yeah,
pretty versatile.
What made you want to get into country music?
The guitar. I mean, I've been loving guitar since I was a kid, and the style of I use it in my beats too. So
interesting.
It's really
do you work with any local country artists yet, or are you kind of looking for that?
Well, I've been working with a rock band.
Okay.
And a rock artist.
Which band?
I don't really know their name. I don't really know their name. Yeah. I just met them. So I mean, I've been listening to a lot of their music to implement it with my music. So pretty dope.
Actually, it's crazy that you say that. I got one for you. I got Tyler Boggs.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard of him, but Tyler Boggs, he won like a competition that Ohio Premier Distributing, Dave Yaney over there did, and I ended up recording him like a 4-song EP, like a cover song. Okay. And ever since then, he did that. Because he had no idea like he can really do this as far as, doing music for real. And we recorded his EP. We put him out a physical CD. It's covers, but he just took off. Now he's booking shows left and right all over the area. He's got his own little setup. It's him and his wife, And they actually sung at my wedding when I got married last year.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was there. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and he has his own, banner, logo, and all those things, and he's taken off. And I told people, I'm like, that's how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you see it, you know what I mean? Like slowly, he's just putting himself everywhere. He's booking shows week after week, and so, like, I was like, that's really cool, and I'm glad I had a part to help him kind of step off like that.
Well, I was going to ask, how important is it to really be like your biggest promoter of yourself? Because like you said, I mean, I think now obviously the internet has several bad things about it, but there's several good things too. Mm-hmm. So especially now, all it takes is those one set of eyeballs that you just don't know to see you, to discover you, to hear you. So, I mean, how big is it to just really be the biggest believer in yourself and promote yourself?
Go ahead.
I mean, that's my number one goal. I really try to do the best I can to support myself. That's the first thing I go for. So
it's very important that as an artist, coming up doing this, you grasp every opportunity.
Right.
Like, because even this opportunity, like one thing I don't make a lot of promises to people about. I'm not going to say the owner of Def Jam, the head CEO of this record label is I don't do that, because I've seen people do that and just really lie to people to just get people. But like, one thing I can say, when you put together events like this, those people will come.
Right.
Because they're like, oh, some talent's there, and that's where that people in the room thing happens. It's like you never know who was in the room, and somebody just come up to you like, hey, I know a guy who works for this.
Right.
Here's my card.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Now, the origins of hip hop go back to the 70s. I think they actually came out of the Bronx in New York, and it sounds strange to say, but that makes hip hop, nearly 60 years old at this point. So, for you two guys, who were some of your favorite artists? Who inspired you when you got started into the genre?
First, well, I grew up listening to Rakim. My dad and my bigger brother. KRS, what's his name? KRS.
KRS-One?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up listening to them a lot in the morning when my mom and dad wake up. They big brother, sister, they playing that, and so I've been in Tupac too. So those are like top three I listen to. Yeah.
So he said his big brother. A little known story. I literally grew up with his big brother and grew up like him. He was smaller, but me and his big brother Chucky, and we played ball all together, friendly house, like all while we were kids, and I'm very, like, their family knows me for the longest, and that's why it's like every time he has a show and I see his mom, they always come up to me, give me a big hug, and it just feels good to, after all this time, still be able to connect with people who you grew up around that know you, know your character. And that's why I knew with him, it's like he's a good person. And, that's why when I see the stuff he's doing with photography, media, T-shirts, like, this guy is the jack of all trades. Like, Don, like, and I just see him constantly going after it. And it's stuff like that when you got an ambitious and a dream, something's going to happen. Like, it's going to take a person or it's going to take himself. Because nowadays, it's like I tell people all the time, you may not see that person that's going to notice you to do something, but you keep pushing it, that opportunity is just going to come. And we're in the age now where we just got to create it ourselves. And that's where myself and others, we put this platform out here, because who knows, maybe if we don't put it out there, it won't be put out there, And that's why I was I think I was on stream last night, and I was talking about this festival being kind of like paying homage to everything within the last 10, 15 years we all been doing in Mansfield to kind of put the hip-hop scene in its place. Things that Zach's been doing, things that The Source been doing, like, the after-hour things. And, like, we've been putting together these things to put our artists in the spotlight. And I just look at this festival as, like, bringing it all together, so.
Given some of the things that have happened around here in the last couple of years, well, even Sunday night we had an incident. How important or how cool would it be if young people would get involved and be interested in more music like this rather than some of the things that are actually happening on the streets right now?
That would be big. I mean, I think the biggest thing what's wrong with that is, like, I have a 13-year-old son, and kids just they're not really interested. I don't get it, and I've tried to bring my kids and everybody like come on, and it's just something else there. Like right now, they want to hear drill music. They want to listen to music that's talking about shooting people, like shooting everybody, like not shooting a person, but everybody, and it's a sport. And it's just what media has gotten us to right now. And it's like the people, and I tell my son all the time, I'm like, the people that's saying this, they're not really doing it. They're just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
He just doesn't want to go with dad to the
exactly.
your stuff. Maybe he's just like that. 13's a tough age.
13's a tough age, man. And it's just like you try to get them into whatever, but
what about talk about a little bit about the Mansfield music scene or hip hop scene. I know, just from booking after hour shows, we try to do a hip hop night every year. And this year we're taking a break, but, that break won't last forever.
Yeah.
I love like connecting with local artists and giving them a platform, like, as you've said, with Cypher City. So, I've connected with, Von Doom, The Cause, a lot Semple, AP, like a lot of the local artists, and I mean, whenever I meet somebody, I mean, I continue to like really love the scene and love what they bring to the table, and then like I'll get on Facebook or whatever, and like you see drama and you see like some people shit talking and like talk about the collaboration, like some of the good things that are going on, and then some of the challenges.
Oh yeah, I mean, I am working with Kwamel Simple. I've been working with him on his album so far.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's talented. He's real talented. We just shot a video for his new single, Summers of Sweet Nothing. I've been working with him, AP the Kid. I mean, the whole scene itself I love it. I really love it. Like it hasn't been looking like the way it is for the past 3 years, and the way it's going right now, I just love it. I love to see it keep going the way it is. Everybody teaming up and working together.
That was the biggest thing. He just said a key thing. He said teaming up. Yeah. So one of the things I do is I've always considered myself as like a behind the scenes person, like a guy that puts everything together.
Right.
And so one thing that I've always liked to do, like I have my own music thing, UPNO Music and Media, which we've been putting out artists and stuff. Like one of my main artists is Zuck, and it's like he's just my best friend, and we've been working for years.
He's nice.
And we just, I mean, this is what we've been doing for a while. But my other thing has been managing and helping and promoting and putting on shows. And it's like a lot of people with myself, it's like, it's always, because everybody, it's an ego thing with the Mansfield music scene, and everybody feels they got to be the one or the main character.
Main character syndrome.
You know what I mean? And my thing is, I truly want to be able to put people in position. If I got an opportunity to put Don Kartel on a stage where he can get people to notice him, I'm going to do it. If I got an opportunity to put, and it's like people's like, oh, it's got to be hit some type of angle. No, I don't have I'm not going to use his name, but I don't have that CEO syndrome that wants to be all in the videos.
Right.
You guys know what I'm talking about. But I don't have that type of thing. I generally like to see people have the stage, and but a lot of people, it's just the ego. So event or something a certain group of people do, people are like, oh, they'll dog it and say this about it. It's because they're not that main character. But truly for me, I enjoy it. I enjoy putting people, say, hey, get out there. Get out, and just being behind the scenes, because I smile. Every time, like, to put on a successful show and have 30-plus artists hit the stage and bring all these people to notice them, and it's like, oh, Ryan trying to, the overhead's kind of crazy.
That's real big.
You know what I'm saying? The overhead is kind of crazy, but at the end of the day, for the love of the culture and putting everybody in this position, it just makes me, I'm one of them people where they say, you feel better, you want to feel better, do stuff for other people. That's just kind of like how my grandparents and family raised me. And so Mansfield's problem is everybody thinks it's a gimmick. It's like, oh, for instance, like, I kid you not, I'm sitting here, we're on a promo run for this festival. But it's somebody out there right now that's pissed because my name or my face is promoting this event.
What, they want it to be them? Or
Yes.
what? Okay.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Start a festival then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And when it comes to the local scene, our biggest problem with the local scene is everybody who's I guess if you're not getting that push or that big exposure, people hate on you. Don Kartel makes sure he gets his exposure. He's doing videos. He's doing stuff like that. Jameson Miltier with Mind Council Media is shooting the best videos
I love him,
around
He's
right
nice.
now. And I'm trying to get this man to really go to full scale to picking this camera up
Yeah,
because
I'm trying.
I've seen his, and it's crazy. I'm thinking before the summer's over, we're probably going to shoot a 2-man video with him and Jameson, and that's probably going to be a movie. But these are my ideas. You know what I mean? And I've been talking to Jameson like we need to shoot a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've been wanting to shoot a movie for so many years. Just I know I got to get around the right people to do it. Yeah.
You know,
That'd be perfect.
and it's just things like, and that's how my brain works.
Nice.
And you know what I mean? A lot of people, they're just like, but if they're not in a center of things, that's where the beef starts. That's why you may see right now somebody go on there and somebody might make a crazy comment about Don Kartel and his music. Why? Because he's on the podcast right now talking about himself.
Yeah, it's crazy.
gotta do.
A lot of things I see too are like people thinking just tearing down Mansfield.
Yeah.
And so any success, and that's a Mansfield problem, not just in the hip hop
yeah.
community, but
Yeah.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right.
People that have success in this area, there's a lot of naysayers and there's a
Yes.
lot of like,
Yeah.
no, just stay. There's just this like general underlying attitude in Mansfield that's like,
Yeah.
no, it's not going to work here.
Right.
You know, you got to leave this, you know,
Yeah.
I can't stand
terrible
that.
place
too.
to have
Yeah.
success, and you go to Columbus, and so it's like, well, then go, like,
Right.
you
Yeah.
go to Miami or go to wherever. Like, I don't see you like blowing up anywhere
I
else.
don't,
Exactly.
and we see it.
Starts home.
We see it. We see people like go to other places, and it's crazy because they'll go to other places, and they'll touch back more to Mansfield more than anything from other places.
True.
You know, but it goes to show it's like the bigger you go, that's the big audience, and it's like you're really a pea in the pot there.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
you're really, it's like, I mean, you trying to be somewhere in New York or LA, and unless you really get to grinding and get with a talent agency, get the right people, but nobody knows who you are.
Right.
Right.
You know, and so a lot of times people may go out of state, but you'll see them tapping back in with Mansfield a lot. And I one of the things I told people, I'm like, let's get Mansfield to the point where, you know, Cleveland's worked hard, Columbus works hard to make their cities prime. I'm like, what's wrong with Mansfield?
Yeah. Why can't we?
Why can't we?
Yeah,
You
couple
know.
of years ago, I remember when one of the after-hour shows, Luke Watson was going to be playing, and I did a story about him before the show, and he had gone down to Nashville for a few months, and I said, "So why did you come back?" I mean, he said, "Well, got tired eating bologna."
right.
You know, so he comes back to Mansfield, and he's probably one of the busiest country artists. In fact, we were. His song "Smoke and Drink" kind of
Yeah.
became our show's unofficial theme song.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to believe sitting with these guys that "Smoke and Drink" would be our song, but yeah, I mean it's crazy. People think they have to leave
Right.
in order to be successful.
Right, and that's always a big thing. And back to something you were talking about, Zach, and when we talk about going into with the Mansfield hip hop scene and like the drama, because it just popped in my head. I'm like, because we really don't. It's like it don't get us nowhere.
At all.
You know, the feeding into the drama, because right now I think the biggest thing is when we put together events like these, people seem to think that we gatekeep it towards a certain group of people.
Right.
You,
I've heard that before.
you know what I mean?
With
Like,
Mansfield Music Fest.
yeah,
and,
yeah,
And it's just like, I mean, I'm an amateur booker. I'm not
Yeah.
like as far you just
Yeah.
doing after hours with the
Yeah,
source. Like
exactly.
I'm not. It's not my
Yeah.
day job. And
Yeah,
it's like something we just kind of do for fun. But
Exactly.
it's like, listen, if I don't know you or like I'm not. It's not my full-time job. I'm
Right,
not
right.
really. It's not my job to go around and discover
That's
in
right.
every nook and cranny all the talent and potential. Like
Yeah.
you gotta back to like kind of putting yourself out there.
Yes.
You gotta make the ask, and you
Let
gotta
me see you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's one thing. Vaughn, our boy Vaughn Doom, he's always
that's
like,
my guy.
hey, can you do an article? Like, I got this or that. It's like, sometimes it's like, no, I can't right now. But it's like, you make the ask, and that's what you got to do.
He pushes himself. That's one thing I love about Von
Works
Doom.
hard.
Yeah, he's been, and he's another one that's been at it for a while and always pushes himself, has the good rollouts, and he understands the professionalism of the sport he wants, of this music he wants to be in. He really gets that. So that's why whenever me and Von Doom talk, the conversation's so simple. Same as with me and Jameson. It's just like, because we get it, but a lot of guys, we have the issue with, because I think our biggest disconnect now is with this festival is I don't think we've touched a lot of rappers right now in Mansfield. It's like, it's crazy. The trap, the street, those rappers like that didn't connect with us. It's kind of like being in school and being a jock and being a sports person, and then the thugs, like we're crashing right now with that whole thing, and I don't get it, because it's just like I've had both fences in my life. You know what I mean? The trap side and the positive side. I know what it's like to I've ran establishments where it's been really grimy. I've ran bars, I ran things like that where it's been crazy, and I understand that type of life and that lifestyle. But when it comes to music, and it's just like, it's no problem, but sometimes people think just because their motion is a certain way, you should just come beg me.
Exactly.
Come beg me. Like, why don't you want me at your show? This is us. We out here doing this. You know what I mean? And it's just, and we crash a lot with that, because it's like at the same time we're like, no, we're recruiting people who really wants to do this, and I understand. People get drunk and have a freestyle every once in a while, but you know what I mean. But it's just like, I mean, we really, because if we put you on that stage, everybody's just not going to get up there and clap and wave just because of who you are.
Exactly. Got to bring your A game.
You got to bring your A game,
especially locally. Nobody knows who anybody is.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Like,
Nobody
it's
knows.
my favorite song.
Exactly.
Got to bring it.
But now there's some people that people do. Like, I go to a Von Doom show. I know a few songs
Everybody
because
knows that.
I've listened to him for a few years.
It's in rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest thing that we another thing that we want, because that one thing I told people, when you come to the festival, have an open ear and an open just eyesight for all the artists.
Yeah.
And just show love. I'm like, because when we did shows at the Mothership, and those type of settings that we have, because they're smaller, more intimate. But and Zach, you've been there to the shows, and it's like, it's a vibe.
It's
just
a vibe. I love the Mothership.
Everybody's having fun. They're all cheering for every artist, every act, and it's just love. It's hip hop, you know what I mean? And it's just a good audience. And that's what we want the festival to be.
Now, this will be the second one. Big success last year. What did you learn from last year's show, lessons that you're taking in to make changes and improvements this year?
One is, don't let every artist have guest passes.
Yeah.
That overhead killed me.
Yeah.
It's like, you can have a free pass.
No. I think I told everybody, I said, I ain't gonna lie, I said, if you're a main artist performing on the stage, you get a pass. Like, nobody else. I'm like, you can't have no entourages, no nothing. I'm like,
it's what, $10?
$10,
20,
here's $10.
Support it.
Like, come on, you'll spend the $10. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was one thing. Another thing I learned is that when to really look at the time slots and have people be professional about getting there, because last time it was a lot of people coming in at the last minute and stuff like that. So we just really, this year was like, this is what's going on. I gave you guys information. If you don't respond, then you're not going to get on that stage. I kind of stricken and tightened up the rules a little bit. Yeah. Yep.
When you were saying that, this movie's too old for you guys to remember, but probably anyway. There was a movie called The Blues Brothers. And at some point, they played in a country western bar, and they did this set. And the guy who owned the place came up to them at the end And he said, "Okay, guys, you owe me $180 or whatever the amount was." And they're like, "What?" He goes, "Well, yeah, you guys drank a lot of beer." And Elwood said, "I thought beer was complimentary for the band." He said, "No." So not only are you not getting paid, but you owe us $180. So,
Oh man, you know what? It's crazy. I remember when we did a listening party at Costa's, and the owner of it, Steve, like he throughout it, he had the grill going. We wanted certain drinks back there, and he got us the drinks and all that stuff. And then at the end, like when it came to the door, he was like, "All right, so this is how much we made at the door." And then he pulled out a receipt. Was like, "I got you guys this, bought you guys this, you guys had this drinks." Like, and I'm like, and then so when I came back, I'm like, I said, yeah. And then they was like, "Oh, what he charged for?" I'm like, "What you think? You thought he was gonna give it to us for free?" I'm like, "Y'all want to ball out and be all, have drinks and sex?" I'm like, "All that we gotta pay for." Yeah.
Last thing I've got, and then and anything else you guys want to mention as far as promotional stuff. But with Cypher, how many artists do you have, and like what's kind of the flow like of the day? How long are sets going to be?
So we got about a 30. I'll be generous and say a 35 plus artist performance roster, and that's just generous.
That's great.
We're looking at, we got 3 segments of sets. We got a 5.5 minute set, then we got 7.5 minute sets, 8.5 minute sets, 10-minute sets, and then we got 1 or 2 15-minute sets.
Okay.
And those
keeping them short.
Yeah, and it's like that way we can get everybody their time on the stage. And then the way we did it from a perspective of what's what and how we did the minutes is based on, we really did the research. Shout out to Jameson Miltier and Jerry Likens, that co-organizers along with Tika Miltier, and we went on YouTube and because when they did the entry, they put their page of their music on there, so we got to see their following and all that stuff, and so that really dictated slots they got. If you're an artist that you don't got a YouTube page, or you don't really, you probably was in that first segment of slots because it's just your first time. You may not really be used to the stage. So therefore, we're going to give you a time frame to get a little bit done and whatever. But the more and more motion you got, the bigger your time slot was.
Nice.
And we challenge people to, and I challenge people, I'm like, no matter what time your slots is, make your playlist based on that time frame. And some people can work a miracle out of 5 minutes or 6 minutes,
Right.
Yep.
And then you got a special guest. I saw that you announced
Yes.
last week. You want to talk about
definitely.
Crazy Bone?
Yes. So Aaron Stitzel, the owner of the Cash Company Poorhouse in Ashland, and actually Aaron's a close friend of mine, and I've been knowing him for years. He's always been locked in with Bone Thugs and Harmony. 1, because he's like always been their biggest fan.
Nice.
And 2, and he started booking them a very long time ago. Coming to the Ashland area, he had the whole group there. He did his birthday celebrations there with them, and so he just has a flat out relationship with Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like, they're cool. They call them whatever. And so he had this show with Crazy Bone going on the 26th, and he had DJ Dro Jackson scheduled to DJ. So Dro was like, "Ryan, like, we got to figure out a way to put this all together." And I'm like, "Let me call Aaron." And so I call Aaron, and we start talking. And Aaron was like, "Man, I didn't even know about you was having the show because I'm trying to get artists booked." I'm like, "Let's do something." I said, "Why don't we make your event, along with your event, and create the official after party of the Cypher City Hip Hop Festival featuring Crazy Bone?" And he said, "I love it." And he was like, "Okay." So, and this is all this on probably like 2 weeks ago. We just started putting this together.
Nice.
He put it all together, and then we put a situation where if you come to the Cypher City Hip Hop Festival, your wristband will get you a $10 entry to the after party.
Okay.
General admission is like $25 because it's Crazy Bone.
Where's the after party?
It's going to be at the Cash Company Poorhouse in Ashland.
Okay.
Yep. So it's going to be at, and it basically it's the official after party. So if your entry to the Cypher City will get you in there for $10, and that's what me and Aaron kind of put together. Also, another thing we got is our top 2 artists from the festival performances we'll be voting for at the festival that perform. The top artists will get to perform at the after party for Crazy
cool.
Bone. Yeah.
That's nice.
And also he will get a meet and greet. He or she will get a meet and greet with Crazy Bone. And then the runner-up will get a meet and greet with Crazy Bone. So we just put all that together. I think right now I'm waiting on a possible video drop for Crazy Bone to talk about the after party and that stuff. And this is just, and me and Aaron, and I'm just like, hey, you think Crazy Bone can do a video drop? He was like, I'm going to ask him. I don't know. and like all this is on the fly. But one of the things that I'm glad we were able to do was just make that connection and put it together, because just now we both did something for each other. We boosted each other's events.
Right.
Because, you know what I mean? Because he may not have had that much motion with Crazy Bone coming into Ashland because of the promotional thing. But, you know, you say Crazy Bone, people are fans just going to come, but we really, all of a sudden, it's like, boom, because we connected it to the Cypher City.
Right, you got 30 art rappers.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
their people.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Other fans going straight from Cypher City out to Ashland.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit before we wrap up. Details about the show. Where do people get tickets? You get them in advance. You get them at the door. To talk us through that process.
So we will be having all tickets available at the door. The reason we decided not to do pre-sale is just because, one, we're limited with like staff. Because like I said, second year, it's really just, I mean, last year it was like my wife at the door, my best friend's girl, like I got them taking tickets and money, and we had another person that checked in the artist. So, you know, I mean, this year, you know, same kind of deal. We got maybe a couple extra people, but we can't. It's hard, you know. So therefore, it will be at the door $10. We will have regular, you know, cash or Cash App, you know, forms of payment. We are trying to look into maybe some options with the tap to pay. You know, so many devices out there that people be able to do that. But most of all, it'd be Cash App form of payment there. So, yep.
All right. Anything else you want to tell us about the event that people need to know?
I think what people need to know is, well, one, the flow of the event will be with all the artists, like throughout it. We got DJ Dro Jackson, which Dro is amazing, by the way. I just need to throw that out there. DJ Dro Jackson is probably one of the hardest working DJs, not in just Mansfield, throughout Ohio. And I feel so honored to be able to have him and work with him, you know, throughout everything, you know, and stuff like that. But I just want to say the flow of the festival will be pretty much, it will be artists, it will be the showcases and different artists performing. But we will have, we're looking to have a beat battle where we got some producers. We'll probably have a 20-minute session where producers kind of go back and forth with their beats, you know, and that gives people the chance, artists, right?
Yeah.
And fans a chance to hear some of these producers. That's where the networking comes in. Yep. So we got that going, and constantly just good vibes, good music. We got vendors there that will be selling merchandise, things. We got a lot of podcasters there. We got Jamila Ewing with the Queen's Address podcast. We got Twisted Radio podcast, Kimberly Vertigan. The 419 Legends podcast will be there, and a few different podcasts. We got some vendors, clothing. Don Kartel will be there with his brand Don Kartel, you know, along with that. And it's just it's going to be just full of hip hop. You guys going to see a lot of you know, banners and different artwork with hip hop. I just want the vibe to be that when people get there, and that's going to be the flow of events. And we got food truck. We got Chef Des from the food tour. She will be on site, and she's got a lot of different options. That she's got healthy options. She's got a lot of different, you know, stir fries and hibachi options. Like, she will be there on site with food.
Food good,
and
too.
oh yeah, food real good.
Real good.
Yeah, and so that's the vibe we have. And right now, we was thinking about maybe a bounce house, but my thing about that is, and my wife tells me, like, do you really think it's going to be like a lot of kids there like that? I'm like, no. But people just throw every idea out there, right? And you don't want to miss nothing. And I said to myself, because last year, even when kids were there, they want to come in and hear hip. They just want to hear the music.
Yeah.
So I said, maybe once we able to get it downtown. That's the goal, is to come downtown.
Yeah.
And shout out to our sponsors, David Yaney at Ohio Premier Distributing, City Councilman at Large, David Falquette, and Alberta Williams at MMB Development. Like, those three people gave us sponsors and believed in us and what we were doing. And I thought that was big because hip-hop gets a, kind of a bad rap. And I told myself, like, hopefully one year as we keep doing this, we keep being successful, that sponsors, they won't be so like, huh? And I'm telling them, like, if the city, I want the city to really believe in this festival, because I'm like, one of your own gave us a sponsor. Like, come on. What else we got to do? So that's what we're looking forward to. But other than that, I just want people to come out, have fun, and enjoy themselves, and just come have a good time.
Don, how do people find your music if they want to check it out before the festival, or where are more, a lot of the artists frequently on that are going to be there? Where can we find your music?
First, SoundCloud. That's been the number one from years. But most of my music it's all around platforms, iTunes, Spotify. Mostly you can hear it on Spotify and iTunes. But yeah, a lot of platforms. Yeah.
Dope.
All right, folks. We're going to wrap up today's show on that musical note. Many thanks to Ryan James and Don Kartel from the Cypher City Hip Hop Festival for joining us today. One more time, the event's coming up July 26th from 3 to 9 p.m. at the Richland County Fairgrounds. Get out there and have a great time. All tickets are $10 at the door.
Yep.
For now, thanks again to all of you for listening to the Newsman Weekly. I'll be back in a second to put a bow on this week's episode. But until then, remember what famed hip-hop author Mark Twain once sang, "If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything."